All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is September 3rd. We're taking a look at NASDAQ here. NQ. Let's kind of recap. Yesterday, we had the big gap lower. Price was trading into that key area of support. We talked about the importance of that kind of purple highlighted area there that you can see on the chart, how buyers needed to defend that point. We see buyers successfully defend that point. There was a retest a little bit later in the morning. I was personally, when that setup materialized, when that retest materialized, I really wanted a spring setup down through here. We did not get the spring setup, but nonetheless, support holds and you get another 300 plus point rally into the close with price testing the 23,370 level of interest right into the close there. Now, overnight, what do we have overnight? We've got a little bit of continuation overnight. NQ almost up into 23,500, kind of in no man's land here. I don't love the current location of NQ. So, my game plan for this morning is to wait for either a retest back into 23,370, which is also the prior day high. Really, it's kind of the main focus for today. I want to see if buyers are going to be able to continue to defend pretty much this area right through here. If so, be looking for some action back into overnight high, maybe up through overnight high, maybe even up into 23,500 and beyond. The weekly and monthly open is right in this area at 23,479 as a reference point. Now, if prior day high does fail, right? Remember, this is our main focus for today. If this prior day high 370 area does fail, I'll be watching to see the reaction down there into the overnight low, see if buyers are going to be defending that 23,300. And if not, I'll look to see how they respond down into 23,225. So that's the game plan. The main pivot, the main level I'm interested in this morning is 370. NQ currently at 430. So not the best location like we had yesterday morning. Plus, important to keep in mind that when we zoom out, back within the middle of a near term and intermediate term range, right? If we zoom out, you can pretty much see a month plus long sideways range here. Just sideways trading, right? Neutral backdrop. So not the best location. Personally, don't have the best edge when price is in this location. So definitely we'll be a little bit more cautious this morning, depending on what sort of setups we actually see. As always, the goal is just to wait for our A plus setups. Remember, when times get tough, when you're in drawdown or you're trading with a challenging environment, the question is, can you continue to do your job? Can you continue to do the job of a trader? Can you respect your process? Can you respect your risk management? Can you do your job when times are tough as a trader? That's the point where many collapse, many fold. And that's the exact moment where if you want to make it long term in this industry, you have to continue to do your job as a trader. So keep that in mind. Anytime you're going through something tough in the markets, you have to keep it professional. Let's see this open here. We've got about 5 seconds. As far as economic data, we do have a 10 a.m. print. Jolts at 10 a.m. Let's take a look at the open. All right, there's the open. No man's land, like I said. It's a game of patience right now. Staying patient, staying patient. Need better location. Good volume right off the open there. There's VWAP. I like to see VWAP with another reference point, almost into that prior day high. Prior day high, what was it? 374? Yeah, 374. So we're getting in there. We're getting in there. We're getting in there. Let's see. RTY into session highs, a little bounce there versus VWAP. Good volume in NQ here. Not quite into that prior day high, almost there. How's our profile looking? Session volume point of control way lower still? Yeah. You did have a high volume node kind of build out right here. RTY vertical up through overnight high. If you trade the old Russell, the old RTY. ES making a session high. Coming into 64.55, that ES. And here's RTY into prior day high now. NQ so far, buyers kind of defending this VWAP area with prior day high just below. See if NQ wants to catch up to ES. ES still pressing session highs. NASDAQ current high is 438. All right, back down there into VWAP. VWAPy. See if we get the actual test here of that prior day high area. Small overnight gap higher. Gap fills at 352, which has a reference point. There you go, new low of day. Now we're getting to that prior day high, 370 area. So I'm interested in seeing the response through here. Looks like ES with a rejection of the 64.55 level of interest, rolling over a bit. NASDAQ pressing the lows. And again, that small overnight gap fills at 352-ish. Yeah, 352.5. So still an important area here. A little bit of a bounce. See if we get that intraday change of character. RTY just on its own this morning. Don't love to see this NQ volume below average at a level of interest. Ray, you got the intraday spring there, I take it? We may have to wait till jolts. Might be in a little holding pattern here till 10 a.m. Five minutes showing an inside bar so far. Mm. Yeah, jolts in about 15, a little more than 15. Look at this RTY. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So what dreams are made of right there. Yeah, a little structure. Had this random line on my chart here. RTY bounces versus it. That's crazy. There's your opening 15-minute bar closing. Got the next one starting up here. NQ just kind of churning near 23,400. Patience, patience, patience. ES into session lows. RTY pulling back now. A big pullback. 5 minute for the most part, another inside bar in the works here, no surprise. Just doji, doji, doji. Indecision. Some indecision. Let's see, did ES just mark a fresh low? Not quite. Yeah, barcode. Absolutely. There's ES, new low of day. ES is coming into prior day high now. NQ looks like new low of day there. Oh, maybe not quite. Oh yeah, by like 2 ticks. Right back into the little intraday structure high. What do we call that again? What do we call that one? Let's see if buyers can give this thing a lift now up through 415. Should unlock the session high. ES bouncing versus prior day high. There we go. Yeah, Albert. Chrissy. Spring scoopers. Can we get a new high of day? Can we get the old new high of day? Not quite. Not quite. Hammered that thing though. The accumulator, yes, sir. I'm the one building that structure for you in real time. All right, we'll trail out of the rest here at 404. I want to see the structure hold in a new high of day. Nah, trail's gonna get taken here in a sec. There's the trail. We're all out. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Started that with a partial. You can see, I mean, this, I count it like when I review this and journal this later, there's just one trade. So we start with a partial, scale out a little bit because I didn't have full conviction that that was the actual low right there on the initial ad. You get a little bit of a spring setup. We're still holding the level of interest in prior day high. So I add back, sell some, and the cycle repeats. You get another little spring right down there. 370 holds. You add back, scale out into structure high, go for the break, lock some more. Then you trail it. On that last push, I want that thing to go right away. I want it to make the new high of day, not pull back into the structure. So we just cut it there again. We're looking at initially here, that push, you get the spring into my level of interest prior day high. And we're just respecting the intraday structure. This right here was definitely the best of them all. Because at this point, sellers are going to be trapped here. They're going to be shorting into the low, looking for that level to break. The spring setup. Oh man, I love it. Love the spring. All right, right back into the lows here. I will not try it again. I'll not try it again until post 10 a.m. Done with it for now. That's all you, Chrissy. That is all you, good sir. I'm waiting till 10. We have jolts in 90 seconds, FYI. I'm cashed. Cashed out. Make sure you slap that exit at market and cancel all button. Good insurance policy there. Look at volume, just gone. No volume. Nada. A big rally and RTY contribute to lower volume in the other indices? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, 15 seconds here. And there we are. Still here, still here. So we're post 10 a.m., just pretty much consolidation nation. ES marking session lows into prior day close. NQ has held the low. Session volume point of control has shifted to 394. Yeah, I'm staying patient here. Staying patient. So we'll push, see if the price can leave this structure. It's a decent little uptick in volume there at 10 a.m. Okay, okay. So good to see the level hold again. Like I said, no position. Look at that 5 minute. Oh my goodness. Nasty. NQ, new high of day. There you go. Nice push. Nice push. Nice push. There we go. So ever since I canceled Trade Sync, I've got to trade all my props alongside my personal account. So I've got the we got the ETF live account here, long some micros, just for fun. Just for fun. Props I use exclusively for the setups that don't quite match the criteria that I want to see in my self-funded personal account. So we got some longs here. One micro, one little baby micro left on the ETF live account. Yeah, exactly, Chrissy. Exactly. Exactly. Same kind of idea though. We're just looking at the 370 longs here. I do like this. This platform is nice though. I think it's Edge Pro X. It's pretty solid. They have a really nice, if you like using the DOM, they have a really nice DOM. Reskinned Motive Wave. I've never used Motive Wave, so I can't comment on that. Probably see the trail get taken here at 420. Just riding the last micro here in the ETF live account. Getting the idea. What we're looking for is longs versus 370 prior day high. That was the main watch this morning. 425. You see my trail right here. 420. Session volume point of control shifted higher, 434. Let's get a break of the overnight high. Yeah, I'll lift the trail a little bit more. There's your new high of day. We'll go 424.5. Trailer. Does this thing rescale? I have no idea. There you go. We're pushing. We're pushing the little micro that could. ETF live account. No trades post 10 a.m. in the personal. Not yet, anyway. There's a little up thrust at the overnight high. Trail may get taken here. If we get a new high of day, I'll lift the trail right here. 434. Too many, Rick. I was using Trade Syncer to link them all, but Trade Syncer ended up being an absolute disaster. So EduClear has been solid. I haven't had an issue with it. You do have to pay. I think it's like $40 a month or something. So you do have to pay for it. Let's get a new high of day here. I'll lift the trail just slightly. It's a good exercise in trade management here with the little micro that could. It's Chrissy's nickname back home, I heard. As far as the actual personal account, no updates. Trading the same idea. And if we take a look at current setup, there's here, right? Session volume point of control shifted higher. Volume's kind of tapered down. We bumped into overnight high. Sellers trying to defend that point. Not doing a great job so far. See if our trail gets taken right now. There's the trail. Not bad. So there's the ETF live account. If you're joining us late, hit the same, pretty much same ideas. Trading this thing alongside the personal for some of those trades I deem a little more risky that I like the idea, but I don't quite want to put on the risk in the personal account. That's the whole purpose of props for me anyway. Yeah, we're getting back right into that kind of consolidation. This is just a 370 by 460, 90-point range. Up thrust that overnight high. Took a little patience, but panned out for the shorts. And you have ES into session lows. ES making a new low of day. So definitely some more weakness in the S&Ps. If you are in that up thrust, you're coming into target right here. See how that 370 area is going to be treated again. And Q just sitting near VWAP. Looks like the bot caught the long from earlier right around here. Nice trade for the bot. By the way, all the pre-launch emails went out yesterday. If you signed up on the wait list and you were expecting an email, double check your spam and your junk folder. I heard from a few people that the email went to junk. So if you were looking for that, double check spam and junk. We still have a few slots left in the first 50. So if you're interested in automation, add your name to the wait list. And I'll send you an email after the stream. Pre-launch pricing still valid. Still valid. Tom, I'll send out some more info on that, but it depends on how many tickers you want to run. That's what it comes down to. So if you just want to run one ticker, you can do the essential plan. I think it's like $15 a month for Trading View. If you want to do two or more, you're going to need the plus. But I'm pretty sure Trading View lowered their prices, at least from when I originally signed up, like 5 or 6 years ago. Or they offer more plans now or something, but it seems much cheaper than when I originally got on there. And what's nice, if you end up doing I know they always have a massive, massive Black Friday deal. So if you're not currently a Trading View subscriber and you're getting signed up for the bot, I would recommend swapping over to their Black Friday special whenever they launch it sometime in November. All right, NASDAQ, nice hold of VWAP. No re-entry for me there personally. Let's clean up this chart a little bit. There we go. Five-minute just showing pure barcode, but the range is wide enough. Could be considered a tradable range. How's everyone's morning so far? How we doing? Missed every entry. That's all right. Don't force anything now. Don't force anything. Green, green, green. There we go. Small red, Albert. You're in that spring, Albert? Thought you'd be in the spring. Too early. Yeah, that was tricky. Missing every entry better than being every loss. True. True facts. True facts, Chrissy. True facts. All good. Trade management kept it small. There we go. There we go, Albert. Good stuff, man. So NQ just shy of overnight high again. Rich trading 3 micros on a 150K account. No stress. Yeah, that's solid. That is solid. You'd have to do something crazy to hit that drawdown limit. It's possible. It's definitely possible, but unlikely. Unlikely. Right now, just watching NASDAQ bumping into overnight high. It's our nearest reference point. Otherwise, just chilling. The main idea, the main setups I wanted were versus 370. Did decently well to capture those. I'll take it. And then we caught the post 10 a.m. move in the ETF live account. That was, let's see. There it is. Yeah, right there. ETF live. Nonsense account. I don't recommend ETF, by the way. There's not an endorsement for ETF. NQ, new high of day. There's nothing I mean, yeah, they do have the swing account. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them. It's just that there are, in my opinion, much, much better options. NASDAQ, fresh eyes, fresh eyes. Yeah, their consistency rule. It's weak sauce. I mean, they pay, right? They definitely, if you follow the rules, they definitely pay, but there's just so many better options out there. It's like, unless you actually want the swing trading account, which is kind of a unique scenario, there are so many better options. Top Step, obviously, Take Profit Trader, Tradeify. Those are my top three. But the whole reason I went with ETF was to get the 20 sim accounts. While I was doing that, they're not like Apex, and I found that out kind of the hard way. They're not like Apex in the sense that they won't let you continue to have the 20 linked accounts in sim like Apex will. They're going to push you into live pretty much right after the first payout. So I got the first payout, went to submit the second one, and then they emailed and they're like, "Oh, we're going to put you in a live account." It's like, well, for me, I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I got the live account, but the purpose was to get the leverage of the 20 linked accounts. So it's not really the same. Rich still riding, man. Nice. Nicely done. This might be our range for today, man. Dez taking a payout today. Congrats, man. Heck yeah. That is what it's all about right there. Payday. First payout of the month. It's only September 3rd. Nicely done. Did not get involved in the chop in MNQ. Good. Good. That's huge. NQ holding session volume point of control now. Back in a session highs coming into that weekly and monthly open. 479. I've not done anything since 370. No trades since 370. Staying patient. We have decent volume here. Average to slightly above average. What happened, Noah? Oh, man. Yeah, that's pain right there. That is pain. Dave filled my quota on PA and evals. There you go. Solid work. They say you can practice with a blown eval, man. They should just remove it from the dashboard. That's silly. Dave, I primarily trade till lunchtime, New York lunchtime, so about noon Eastern. The stream we usually are streaming for the first hour to first 90 minutes of the regular session, and then we shift over to the Traders Think Tank to keep it going in the community. A lot of our team trades all day though. See activity in the think tank all day long. Even into the Asia session. I know Mish loves to trade the Asia session. So sometimes you'll catch him real late at night, slapping up his Top Step accounts. Speaking of Top Step, just got an email. Let's see. Back to Funded is here. One bad day doesn't have to cost you your Express Funded account. Learn how to stay funded with back to funded. What is this? What is this? Oh, okay. So you can reactivate a blown XFA. Wow. Okay. That's kind of cool. What do you guys think? 50K is 500 bucks. 100K 599. 150K 730. If you blow an XFA, are you doing back to funded or are you just going to go through the combine again? That's pretty interesting. It doesn't concern you. That's pretty cool. I feel like I would just go for the back to funded. Save yourself a few days. Benny, you're going back to eval. So you still have to pay. You go back to eval, you still have to pay the 50 for the account if you're on the 50K. And then what's the activation? 150? So you're still out 200 bucks and then 3 or more days pretty much. I wonder if they picked that up from Take Profit Trader because I know TPT you can do that. Although I think TPT is more. $450 TPT. I think is that for the 50K? I think there are 150K is something crazy like 1500. I think it's higher. Oh, Des is all about the back to funded. Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, with TPT, it almost makes more sense because TPT is 5 days. So how much is a day worth? How much is a day worth to get back? TPT is 649. Oh, we're getting all sorts of all sorts of info now. All right, NQ session highs. We're coming into 23,500 now. We're getting into that level of interest. 25K 450, 50K is 650. Okay, so it's more than Top Step. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I'm torn. I'm torn. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on number one, if you have edge, can you actually trade? Can you actually grab a payout? If not, then definitely not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Keep refining your skill set in the combine and the eval. But if you actually have some pretty good edge, you've taken some payouts, then yeah, maybe worth saving the time. Might be worth it. How's the bot doing? Bot caught the NQ long, Des? All right, NQ, there's 23,500. So main watch this morning. If you were with us before the bell, we talked about wanting to see how 370 and the prior day high was going to be treated. That was the main level to watch this morning. So we see yesterday's bounce, get a little pullback, a little continuation there overnight, right? Another pullback, or we hold there. That's where many of us were slapping those longs. And now it's starting to open up a bit as we get into 23,500. Anyone still riding longs here? I did all my action at 370 per plan. What am I waiting for right now? An entry. An entry. A setup. Yeah, Des, spot on. Spot on right there. So kind of recapping the morning so far, we had all the action through here. I like this. I don't love VWAP right through there, but I like this action at my level of interest and prior day high nonetheless. That gives good confluence. So that's where I tried all the longs, which ended up paying pretty nicely. Just as a recap, there's the longs, and then we had it in the ETF live account as well. So you get the push post 10 a.m., little data, fresh session high. This is an up thrust at the overnight high. It's a valid setup for a short. Comes into VWAP. The up thrust should tag session lows. It does not. VWAP holds as support. Buyer step in there, kind of in close proximity to session lows, right? Intraday support zone, and you get the push right back into highs. Once this session high is made, that starts to put you on notice that shorts may be a little dicey. So you can try the up thrust again here if you want. But if you start to see some buyers step in versus any reference point, typically you want to keep a tight leash on that trade. We just made fresh session highs post 10 a.m. It's a small detail, but significant. So you get the bounce versus volume point of control. Now we're up into 500. Remember, main watch this morning was 370, 370 down here. Does love developing an amazing skill when you take it serious? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it's all about, man. Congrats. That's what it's all about right there. Yes. Oh, man. Wow. All right, I'll give it 10 more minutes here. Boy, today is flying. My goodness. We'll give it 10 more minutes, see if we get another entry. You do have a little micro retest right there at 23,500. That's a little too shallow for me. So pass. Remember, less is more. You can make a living. I firmly believe. Firmly believe you can make a living on one trade per day. The hell is this? 370 level, what do you look for to enter the trade? I'm looking for any proof that buyers are stepping in there. Last time waited for higher time frame confirmation. So for higher time frame confirmation depends on context. For example, if we're like post 10 a.m. sell off mode and I'm looking for a long setup, in that scenario, I'll need some higher time frame confirmation. So context makes a big difference. Time of day and then current near term and intermediate term structure are going to play a big role in kind of determining the aggressiveness of an entry that I take. Hopefully that makes sense. I believe we have Trump speaking in 5 minutes. So let's see what sort of action we get into 11 a.m. Caught in falling knives way too often. So good trade location will help with that. And then when you actually have good trade location, making sure that you have that higher time frame signal is going to be probably the easiest way to avoid catching a falling knife. So NQ sitting right here, 23,500. It's our nearest level of interest. Main focus level as we get into 11. Not even into the shallow fib. First shallow fib at 488. Got the fib buy zone down there near current session volume point of control. So 1 minute till 11. Sometimes you'll get a nice little burst of action here. Let's see. We also have Trump speaking, FYI. Can sometimes be market moving. Look at that volume. Just tapering down below average. Anything in the wires? Yeah, let's see. Not seeing anything. Not seeing anything in the news wires. I think I'll go ahead and call it right there. We'll keep an eye on 23,500. Volume's tapering down. Just opted for the 23,370 longs this morning. That was that. Not bad. Albert's ready for the stream sacrifice. Yes, sir. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank as always for the remainder of the day. As a reminder, if you're waiting on the Autopilot Trader APT pre launch email yesterday and you were on the wait list, double check your spam and junk folder. We still have some slots in the first 50 for the pre launch pricing. So if you want to jump on that, add your name to the wait list right there. I posted the link in the chat and I'll send you an email. I think that's a wrap on today. Hope you guys had a good day. Good morning, at least. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.